What's up, you guys? Welcome to this episode of the DR Show. We have Gigi McGree. Queen. Hi. Superstar. Look, it's so freaking fabulous today. I have to ask, because you just came in and you're just glowing and shit. What are you wearing today? This is insane.
Oh god, nothing crazy. I mean, my girlfriend owns this brand called IMG. I'm pretty sure everyone has in like the world has heard of that, but I wear a lot of her stuff because she's dope and she's been my best friend since I was like 16. And then this is something that I found in my wardrobe.
Oh, man.
And this is a Hanes tank top, and this is a Chrome Hearts necklace.
Cade had that.
Yeah.
Our homie Cade, yeah. The Chrome Hearts are a big thing around here in LA.
It is. Yeah. I keep finding it on like this, I don't know where this came from. It just turned up in my room one day. And I was kind of like, okay, someone left this at my house after a party or something.
Oh, man.
No, lucky me.
Well, okay, from Australia. Mm-hmm. We love the accent.
Thank you. Where are you from?
I'm from New York.
But you have like a little bit of an accent as well.
Really?
Uh-huh.
People say that. I think because I've lived in Europe for like a few years.
Okay.
With a lot of Russian roommates.
Yeah.
I feel like it just mixes me up a little bit.
You sound like a little Euro.
Oh, man.
You're like, when New Yorkers usually are like, no, I'm about to do a really bad Boston accent. Just ignore me.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, well, take us back to Australia. Like, you know, you're a little girl. When did you discover your love for music?
It was something I kind of fell into, which was crazy. Like, I feel like growing up, especially in America, it's crazy. Like, everyone's like, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? Like, what are you going to college for? Mm-hmm. And I was going to university to do property development. I was doing property economics.
No way.
And my dad owned a bunch of nightclubs back in Australia, and I was obsessed with throwing like raves. Like, I used to throw I was, I think, 18 years, so I was legal drinking age. I'm like, don't let me say anything illegal. But I started throwing these like massive parties, and then it was back in like the 2000s, like electro phase. So it was like when like Bang Gang and like Bag Raiders and like Ajax were coming up. And they were all my friends, and so we'd throw these like huge parties. And then they were like, Gigi, you need to learn how to DJ, and like, you know, your taste in music is so good. And I was like, okay. So then I DJ'd at this like local pub for $25 an hour, and I used to do 6 hours every Saturday and Sunday. And then I bought my own equipment, and then it was kind of like everything just kind of started flowing. Like, I toured with this guy, his name's Nightmare, and then he asked me, he was like, do you sing? And I was like, absolutely. Never sang, like never even thought about singing. I've written poetry since I was a little kid, but like, and then I wrote this song called Frontlines, and it became like, it's one of Nightmare and Zed's biggest songs. And it kind of just like, after that, it was just, and then I kind of just got more into like songwriting, and I learned how to play the guitar, and I'm currently learning how to play the drums, and just like, I don't know, everything just like, I'm very much like, I just go where the wind takes me, but I go really aggressively, as everyone in the Monster Cat team will tell you. I'm very aggressive about everything. So yeah, that's kind of, and I just like, I don't know, I just take things as they come, you know? I want to do the most all the time.
What is the music scene like in Australia? Because I feel like people talk about music scene in LA, New York. What about Sydney?
I haven't been home in a minute for like a long enough period of time, but like I know the band like the Chats are really big, and like obviously like, you know, we have Flume, we have Tame Impala, G Flip is crushing. Like, I feel like artists that come out of Australia are like very individual. Like, they have their own sound, they have their own thing going on, because it's like an island so far away from everyone. It's a country, not an island. It's, you know, to make a difference, you really have to do something unique and kind of try and make your way through it. So I think that is something that Australian artists pride themselves in, which is cool. But yeah, I haven't been home enough to like know what the scene is over there, which is sad.
Speaking of sound, I'm a fan. I was like, honestly, your sound reminds me of nostalgic, like when I was at EZoo with my fake ID, Electric Zoo.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that festival, but it's like
I played the festival.
The height of dubstep.
Yeah.
Like Excision.
Yeah.
Do you like? Are you a dubstep fan?
I'm a huge dubstep fan. Obviously, like everything that I play. I mean, I'm more of like I love like the old wave of dubstep, the older wave of dubstep, like Scream, and like obviously Zed's Dead, like their Eyes on Fire remix, like pretty much changed my life. After listening to that, I was like, and that's kind of also like another thing that influenced my singing, because like I would listen to that and sing that, and I would be like, her voice is so delicate and like it's so soft. And now, like, the more I found myself as who I am as an artist, my voice is like projecting into this like screamo, angsty, like, I don't know, psycho, can I swear? Bitch.
Yes.
Always got to double check.
Hell
I was like,
yeah.
how do I find another word? But yeah, I mean, all my sets are extremely heavy. Because there's nothing that feeling of like when you watch everyone's face go whoa when the drop happens, like that for me basically is what orgasming feels like.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's one thing I wanted to ask you about too is you've played
Orgasming?
We can talk about but no, I mean from Electric Daisy is it called, right?
EDC? Yeah.
Ultra.
Yeah.
You've played like some of the biggest festivals ever. What does it feel like to be on that stage? Also in like solo kind of sometimes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
solo.
So,
I mean, I am a show pony. I love to be watched. Like, I'm like, put a camera on me. Like, I'm better when I'm watched by like 80,000 people than I am one-on-one for some reason. That's just my thing. I love it. Like, you sometimes have to kick me off because I'm like, I'm not finished, just a little bit more. It makes it's I don't know, like I've never tried any hardcore drugs, but I assume that's the closest feeling to that.
no way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
euphoric.
So are you like, you know, every artist has their own thing. Are you like the kind of like party artist, like at the show? Like what kind of, are you like drinking your water and your tea backstage when you go up? You're like, you have your rituals. What kind of artist are you performing behind the scenes?
I'm honestly a psychopath. I'm like just bouncing around and like I have chronic ADHD, so it's like I'm
For
just
real?
like I don't really drink like anymore. I kind of got that done when I was younger. I don't really have a ritual. I kind of just like, if I have like a band with me, or if I have like a TM or whoever's with me, I'm just like, let's fucking go. And then like, you know, I'll make one of them smack me on the ass and off I go.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm a simple girl. A simple, crazy girl.
Okay, something super, super cool that everyone's so excited about is your Spotify releases. But how do you pronounce
It's Spotify Sessions.
Spotify Sessions.
Yeah, it's so cool, and the team at Spotify is so awesome, and I'm so grateful that they like support me and love me as much as they do. But basically, I did my very own version of Hillary Duff Come Clean, because that song is like, I don't know, like growing up as a kid, like since I was like 10 years old, I was like, that was my shit. And I play that at the end of my sets and everyone goes off. And then when I was talking to the team over there, I was like, guys, I'm going to do Hillary Duff Come Clean. And like, they're just so obsessed with it, which makes me so obsessed with it more, because it's like when everyone's just so hyped on something, it's just like, you're just like, yeah.
Do you remember Hillary's rock phase?
No.
She had like a rock phase where like, you should check out those videos.
Oh my God, I want to recreate them.
She's like, with the
oh my God, she's such an icon.
Yeah.
And then I also did like a reworked version of my song Blood Rush, because Blood Rush was actually my favorite song off my latest EP Dichotomy that I released earlier this year. And I made it feel like more like a Nirvana, like Cranberries. I don't know. It was so cool to go in and rework that song, because that song to me, like, it's so emotional, and it's just like, I don't know. It was cool to like give it a new life in a way that like I always wanted it to go in this like more like punky rock tronic lane, but it ended up being like an ambient kind of like dubstep-y thing, because that's, I don't know, it just ended up being like that. So I was like, cool, like that's its purpose. And then when they were like, what song do you want to, you know, rework, I was like, oh, Blood Rush. And it's, you know, that's again like trusting the universe, that like I knew that song was going to get another life.
I want to talk about your move to LA.
Yeah.
I know you've been in New York, you've been around a bit.
Yeah.
But like, was there a culture shock?
No, not particularly. Like, LA and Sydney are really, really similar. So it's like, I think for me, the hardest thing is leaving my family. Like, I am extremely close to my parents. Like, I'm like a mommy and daddy's girl to like the fucking maximum extreme. And like, that's the hardest thing, because it's like when you're having a shitty day and you just like want to go home and like hug your mom. I can't do that. So like my friends are now like my family, and it's just like I get home on the couch and I like cuddle with my like housemate and I'm like, love me.
Are you gonna go to Australia for the holidays at all or no?
I am. I am surprising my mom. I'm flying home on Sunday. She has no idea.
No way.
Yeah, and she's like, because she called me the other day and she was like, so you're not coming home for Christmas? And I'm like, no, because I'm so busy around that period of time. And I was like, no, I can't. And I saw her face and I was like, oh my God. So I literally like got off the phone to her and like looked at flights and I was like, okay, that's a little expensive, but my mom is worth everything. So I booked a flight and I'm leaving on Sunday.
This Sunday.
Yes.
Was your mom and dad always like, I know your dad has been in like in the nightclub scene, but they always supportive of what you're doing. How
They're
proud of you are they?
So supportive.
Have they seen you on one of those stages like
My dad came to, I played at Coachella this year. My dad came.
That's insane.
And he was like side of stage. And then when I finished, he cried. And then I cried. And then everyone was crying. And then I'm like, Dad, don't, my makeup. I never do makeup. And my mom is just like, they're the most supportive. Like, I'm a wild child. Like, I post the craziest shit. I'm so provocative. I'm so comfortable in my skin. Like, I pride myself on that. Like, you know, I'm so sex positive, and my parents are just like, go off. You know, they brought me up to be a really good, grounded person, and my morals, like, I mean, what I believe are really good. So they're just like happy to watch me do what I love.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the cool collabs you've done with Royal the Serpent.
That's right. That's my beach.
Bitch.
Yes, that's with Ryan.
Oh, yeah. How did you
Royal.
guys come up, like, the making of that song? What were you guys doing? What were you thinking?
So I wrote that song, and then I was like listening to it in the car one day, and I was like, damn, man, like this would be so cool if it had like another girl in it, because it's just like a female empowerment anthem. I literally wrote it about an ex-boyfriend of mine that was just like a loser, and I was like just calling him a bitch. And then I was chatting with Ryan, and I sent it to her, and I was like, do you like this? Like, you know, I would love for you to cut something. She literally came in like 3 days later, cut it, and then that was the record.
Wow.
Yeah, I think all good music, or like all natural, like organic music, comes really fast. And it's just like the vibe and the flow is there. And it's just like when you going into sessions, I feel like sometimes if I get stuck on something for like a couple of hours, I'm like, this ain't it. You know, like most of my songs get written within an hour.
What's your songwriting process like? How do you start?
Oh God, I literally come in with ideas, and then I'm like, okay guys, everything that I've written is personal to me. Like every single thing that I've written is either happened to me or is like I'm going through whatever it is. And I'm like, this happened to me this week, this happened to me today, this happened to me on the drive here. And then I look at photos. Like I'll go on Pinterest and look at photos, and then just things. I usually like will like get a guitar and like start riffing, and then I'll lay a harmony, lay a melody down, and then words usually spit out when you're doing that, and then like just that's the end. You know, I don't overthink anything, because it's like I feel like people put so much emphasis on like making sure it's the best record in the entire world and everyone's gonna love it and stream it. I'm just like, I'm making music for me.
I know, that's right. I asked you how to pronounce your last name just to like triple, quadruple check, and she was like, don't overthink it. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
Don't overthink it. Like, that's kind of how I do everything in life.
That's pretty dope.
I feel like we spend so much time worrying about what everyone else thinks, and the only thing that matters is what we think. Because it's like, that's what a true artist is. You're creating, and you're creating because it's coming from you, you know. And I think it's like, if you put so much emphasis on like, will people love this, will I, you know, will this get in the top, blah blah blah, like that's the wrong reasons. And I think that that's like, also being in LA, like it's crazy. Like, you know, I was talking to my friend about this the other day, and it's like, even collaborating with other artists, I feel like it's come to such a point where people only want to work with people if they have X amount of followers, or like, you know, X amount of streams or whatever it is. Like, I don't even really look at that. Like, I'm just like, they're dope. I want to work with them.
Wow.
Because like, I think art is like, it's something that you have to like love and be obsessed with, not just want it for the quick little like bits, you know, or to be famous or whatever the reason is, you know.
Wow. It seems like you're a really like spiritual, like in tune person.
Yeah.
Let's talk about spirituality. You have a cool tattoo, by the way.
She's a witch.
Yeah.
Ah! Yeah, I practice witchcraft. I have I've always known it's something. I mean, everyone's spiritual. It's just whether they choose to tap into it or not. I've always known that I had a gift when I was a kid, because I'm a clairvoyant. I see things before they happen. And it's happened. I would say stuff to my mom, and I'd be like, Mom, like blah blah blah, I saw this, and then like, you know, a month or a week or whatever it was later, like it would happen, and my mom was like, wow, like you're special. And my mom like my mom is really spiritual as well, so she kind of like helped me guide my like where I wanted to go and like how I wanted to go on this journey, and she never pushed me or forced me. And then during COVID, I had a bit of time off, as everyone did, and I delved really heavily into witchcraft. And now I'm obsessed.
Is witchcraft kind of, it's called like Wicca, right?
Wicca, yeah.
Is it like, I mean, what does it really look like in comparison to, you know, the movies and things like that?
I mean, the coolest thing about witchcraft is it's all based on love. Like, everything stems from love. It's like imperfect love and perfect trust. Like, that's literally what it is. Like, as above, so below. Like, everything is in sync, and it's like, as long as you're doing things for the right reason, the right things will come back to you. Like, karma is a really big thing in witchcraft. It's like, you know, people always like, oh, are you gonna hex me? And I'm like,
who said that?
A lot of people, you know, they think of witchcraft and they think of dark magic, which is like, you know, I do delve into dark magic, but it's like karma. Like, you don't want to go and hurt someone, because that's gonna come back and hurt you eventually. And the same thing is witchcraft. Like, you lead everything with love and light, and like great stuff happens. And it's really cool, because it's like, the more you get into it, the more you realize about yourself, and everything is like a self journey to me. And like, you know, I do worship certain goddesses, but like at the end of the day, like, I'm my own goddess, which is like, it's all about feminine divinity, and like, you know, getting to your high self and just being a good person and acting from love, which
Can
is
a boy be a witch as well?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not like sexist. Like, I mean, I believe that everyone's a witch. Like, you know, my housemate, my friend who's living with us right now, he comes out to me, like, I was doing witchcraft last night, and he comes out to me and he goes, Gigi, I think I'm a witch.
Oh my God.
And I was like, ah! And I was like, yes, you are, King. Go off.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't know the exact term for it. I'm assuming it's just a witch. Like, you know, I have filmed a movie with my best friend.
Yes, I want to get into that film.
Yeah.
Unscripted,
yes.
What does unscripted mean? That means there's
it's
just like
reality.
Dialogue? Wow.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's basically like, we don't have a script. We just kind of talk about, you know, we're just shooting.
Yeah.
And we go to Salem, and we're kind of going in through the history and what witchcraft means to us as modern day witches, because, you know, witchcraft goes back to like, I don't even know when, like the 1800s or whatever it was, but probably later. But, you know, it's just, as a modern witch, like, I think witchcraft just has such a stigma about it, because you see it in the movies, like, especially like, you know, The Craft is one of my favorite movies of all time, but you see Nancy and she's just like, oh, you know, like, and it can be like that. Depends how like aggressive you want to go about it. I don't believe in ever doing things to hurt people. You know, I do witchcraft for myself and for others if they need. Like, the coolest thing about witchcraft is just like, it's healing, and it's just, I don't know, it makes you feel like ecstasy all the time.
Damn. Does it ever tie into your music, the making?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Is there like a specific potion for making music?
I don't really do, like, I do potions, and I do castings, and I use a lot of herbs, and I use a lot of crystals, and I use a lot of cards, and I use a Ouija board, but like,
a Ouija board? Is that real?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, that's like, yeah, that's my thing. But I think that the main thing about witchcraft is you're talking to your higher self, and your higher self is like your spirit guides and your like goddess, and like, that's just in you. It's whether you allow it to flow out. So it's like, you know, I'll go into a session, and if I get stuck, I'll like meditate for a second, and I'll call upon my spirit guides, and usually they'll be like, like, maybe do this, maybe do that, or maybe they don't even come. And if they don't come, I'm kind of like, cool, I'm just gonna leave it. You know, everything is just, witchcraft is like, you just trust your intuition. The more you trust yourself, like, the greater things happen.
Absolutely.
I can ramble.
Tell us when this project comes out, this film.
To be determined.
To be determined.
It's coming. I just don't have a date yet.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow, what does that feel like? Do you want to get more into like the film world? Is that where
I am getting more into the film world? There's lots of other cool things happening in the works for me in 2023.
2023.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit of like a foreshadow for 2023?
Okay.
Or any music foreshadows?
I mean, I'm doing a lot of scoring in 2023, which is really cool. Something that I've been really wanting to get into. the music that I have written for 2023, I know a lot of people say this, but like my entire team over here at Monster Cat can vouch. This is the best shit I've ever written. Like, I am so excited. Like, I've been working with this vocal coach, Melissa Cross. She's like a screamo vocal coach.
I know.
Yeah.
I've heard of her.
She's the best.
I was like, she's a very like
She's the best.
screamo, yes, for screaming.
So I have figured out how to do that.
World class.
And I'm going to start showcasing that in 2023, which is like, and it's also like the coolest music I've ever written, because it's just like, it's all about feminine divinity, and it's all about things that I've been going through in my life. And I feel like the end of 2022, like what we're in now, has been like the biggest shift change I've ever had, because it's like, I feel like I love myself so much. And that's like, you know, we go through these like crazy relationships with like lovers and friends and like all of it, you know, and it shapes us up to be who we are. And I feel like I fully, you know, I'm forever working on myself, but I'm so happy with who I am as a person. And it's like the pain that I've felt going through, like, you know, traumas and whatever, has come out through my music. And like, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I don't know. I'm so stoked, because it's just like, I'm showcasing a side that no one else is, like, I haven't ever showcased in my, yes. And it's like, my voice is just like, I've never loved my voice. Like, I've just like sang and people love it and I don't understand it. And I'm like, it's cool. I am obsessed with, like, I like listen to myself and I'm like,
let's go.
You know, and that's such a cool feeling, to like love yourself and like love your voice and love because your voice is your instrument, and like just be obsessed with it. And like, I get so was never one of those people that like put my music on in the car, but I finish a song and like, I'm like, who wants to listen today? And everyone's like, my friends go up, and like, I get so excited to send it to the team. And like, I don't know, it's so cool to love what you do so much, and then like, but like really love it, you know, like, and even if these songs like never see the light of day, which they all are, but like, I'll be so stoked that they just exist.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting vulnerable, I wanted to, like, if anyone follows you on Twitter, they know. And
I'm so psycho on Twitter. Twitter to me, it's so funny. Twitter in Australia like isn't big, so I never really I didn't really understand Twitter. So for me, it's kind of like a little baby diary.
Yeah.
I just write the weirdest, craziest shit.
Situationships.
Oh yeah, the one that I did yesterday.
Yeah, that was your latest.
It's like everyone
tweet.
has that one situationship that fucked you up for the rest of your life, because it's true.
Yeah.
Sometimes situationships hurt more than a relationship, because there's that like, it could have been. And you're like, what just happened? How did I just get so derailed?
Yeah, man. What's your type? What's your type?
I don't have a type. I honestly I have dated a spectrum of people. I don't have one.
No.
Like one that
Like
looks
the punk rock boys.
I do.
Face tats.
I do. Oof.
That's like my new thing is like face tats. I'm like, oh my God. Girl.
I know.
I'm like, sit down.
I know. And like, I see a boy that got covered in tattoos. They probably look like they weren't going to hurt me. And I'm like, how can I fix you? But it's so funny. Like I was talking with my friend the other day when we were in the studio, and like, I was like, you know, singing him the lyrics that I wrote for this song. And I looked at him and I was like, am I toxic? And he was like, what? And I was like,
Wow.
am I the toxic one? And he was like, Gigi, you're a little toxic. And I was like, okay, I'm just being toxically vulnerable. And he was like, everything that you're talking about, people have done and felt. So don't ever be scared. And I was like, okay, cool. Anyway, let's get back to writing.
Oh my God.
You know, because it's like, life is crazy. And like, this world that we live in, like, I feel like everything moves so fast. Everything is just like, you know, with like TikTok and like these like 15-second little things that you have to give to people to hope that they like, or like to make them stick. It's like everything is so fast. And like, I feel like relationships, especially with like lovers, have become so much more like, you go in fast and then you leave even faster. I don't know if you feel the same.
I definitely, I don't know, man. There's definitely like a disconnect, I think, with people.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like post-COVID stuff. Or whatever it is. I think, like, for me at least, just personally, I'm just having.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm on like a, you know.
I'm on a male detox right now.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
I don't know if I'll go.
I think we all need to like male detox.
I mean, it's good to just be with yourself. I feel like I've just like, I don't know, like I'm such a big lover that when I like feel something, I'm like, let's go.
I know, that's why I'm almost afraid. I'm like, okay, we can't dive in too deep again now.
But then like,
then you're suppressing yourself.
yeah, and it's like never suppress yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm the kind of person that like I'll jump so far, and if I fall on my face, I'm like, cool, I get to write music. So I'm like, whatever. But yeah, I am taking, I mean, at this very moment, I'm just like spending more time with myself. Like on last Sunday, I actually had the weekend off, and I sat in bed and read for like 3 hours.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever done that in my entire life.
You just stay in your room at like solo.
I literally stayed in my room. I put on candles. Had the door open. I was like lying half in the sun, like half not in the sun, and I was just reading. And I was like, wow, I'm either getting old because I love this so much, or like I didn't realize how much I needed this.
Just time alone.
Time alone.
Alone time.
But it's like it's just like time. I think it's more not alone time. I think it's more time outside your brain. You know, like we live in our heads and we're consistently creating and wanting to do the most all the time. And it's like sometimes when you're just focusing on words on paper, it just takes you out of like the noise.
You're a queen.
Thank you.
We're so excited for this.
I actually like to call myself a king.
You're a king. Yes, king.
Thank you.
We're so excited for this next release. I can't, now that we know that this is going to be one of your most exciting releases.
I'm so stoked. It's just, I mean, the song is called Be Careful What You Say. It was written about a time in my life not that long ago where people were talking things about me.
No.
And, you know.
This is not high school.
Yeah, we don't do that. We don't do that to a witch.
Oh. Gotta zoom in on that. You know, people are talking, that's how you know you're doing something right.
Oh, exactly.
Facts.
And I'm also just like, when people do things like that, I'm just like, man, you must really hate that I'm up here.
Oh, let's go, baby.
You know,
Let's go.
I think I look at everything with like, try and look at everything with a positive perspective. And for me, it's just like when people do weird, malicious shit, you're just kind of like, ouch, that hurts to be you.
And it's all part of it.
It's all part of the journey. And thank you. You give me good music to write about. Like, you give me great subjects to write about.
I know. And it seems like you're obviously like super grounded.
Yeah.
And everything. We were talking about Britney Spears earlier.
Yeah.
Not to say she's not grounded, but
I'm not Britney Spears. No, I'm fun. I'm crazy. I literally have psycho tattooed on my hand, but like, you know, I'm at the core, I'm a really good person and a big lover. Yeah.
I like how you say lover, Australian way.
Lover.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having me.
For watching the episode with King, Gigi.
Hey.
And we're gonna be waiting for this next release. So
Yeah, we are.
See you next time.